You are a jelly bean. You drink high protein shakes. There is a truth about the crypto industry that nobody wants to talk about. It is the 4-year cycle. It is a myth. The 4-year cycle myth. What is the myth? I'm going to go through every example shown in this chart, friends. It's going to look confusing at the start, but don't worry. I'm going to show you the truth. The truth is that Bitcoin breaking the all-time high has more to do with the stonk market, not the Bitcoin halvening. I know, we are shocked. It's sad. I don't want it to be this way, but it's the truth. So I have this chart with a lot of lines. Don't worry, I'm going to show you right now. We're going to go deeper. The top chart is Bitcoin. The bottom chart's the S&P 500. I'm going to tell you what we're going to go through so I can walk you through and show you exactly why this is powerful knowledge. Powerful because you can see the future trap coming. So each line, you see how there's a lot of lines here, friends? Each line, they're timed together. Each line represents when Bitcoin started to break an all-time high or started to go on a mania run, one time plus token Ponzi. See, each line represents that. You could say maybe a bull cycle of sorts. But each time, the S&P 500 was breaking new highs. I'm going to show you right now. We're going to go deeper, friends. Let's go down, and I'm going to show you right now. Let's actually zoom in. Let's put it down to a daily chart. This is why we're going to go through. We're going to actually show you what I mean, friends. This is super important information because, you know, I never thought it would come to this, but unfortunately it does. You know, I'm gonna zoom in right now so we can show you. So the top part is Bitcoin, and the bottom chart is the S&P 500. You notice Bitcoin goes on its first run. It just emerged in the world. The bottom, the stock market, was in GFC mode. This was absolute capitulation. We are ushering the next Great Depression. They had to do the printing. They had to do the TARP, which we laugh at the numbers today, but that's what happened, okay? Now, you see here, this is where there was the Bitcoin halvening. Okay, the Bitcoin halvening happened. See this vertical line here? The vertical line is that Bitcoin halvening, right? Now, what ends up happening is, look when Bitcoin breaks the all-time high, friends. I'm going to show you right now. The bottom chart's the S&P 500. Look at this. This is, by the way, the S&P 500 all-time high. Have a look at that. All these years. You see that? Now, let's match up the times. Exactly. Exactly, friends. I know. Wild. This is pre-Twitter. Pre-YouTube. This is before Bitcoin, CoinBureau, Altcoin Daily. This is before everybody we know and love, with and without their fluffy slippers, existing in the land of crypto, besides the early OGs, Eric Voorhees, Andreas Antonopoulos, Da Vinci J15, even Richard Hart. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just wandering around trying to save the world. That is how early it was. And isn't it amazing? Coincidence, right? Not coincidence, friends. That Bitcoin breaking the all-time high coincided exactly with the S&P 500 breaking the all-time high. No one knew what correlation was back then. Let's continue. I'm going to walk through you slowly, okay? This is the double bubble scenario. As we walk forward again, this is actually where we come through here again. We continue the double bubble scenario, and the stock market also continues. So the stock market, again, it went through, did some jitteries. These are weekly candles, remember, friends? So, you know, it breaks the highs in April, and then it jitters up, and then it comes back, and it breaks the highs again, or just screaming by the end of 2013. That's what we have up here. You see up here? Up here, friends, I'm going to show you just a big fat arrow. So I'm going to show you right now. Bang, right here. You see that? Same thing. And now we're also showing the same thing on the bottom chart as well. You can see it. It's lining up perfectly. Now, I'm going to walk forward again. You think, that's just one. Okay, that's just one. Let's continue again. Well, this is where it gets a bit ding-dongy, friends. So this vertical line here is the Bitcoin halvening. July 2016. What happens here? Well, if we walk forward to the tip of this arrow, you see here, right here, friends, this is where Bitcoin's breaking the all-time high. Look at the bottom. We're going to line it up so you can see right now. The bottom is the S&P 500 screaming to the all-time high as well. You know, so that's 2 out of 2. I'm just going to have to show you, man. We're going to have to show you because the S&P 500, friends, it's the most powerful thing in the world. Now, I'm going to continue. So that was kickstarting the new bull market, the new extreme all-time high. That's the move, all right? So everything that happens after that is emotions, is euphoria. We don't know what happens after that, okay? I'm going to go forward now. I'm actually going to show you. This is where it gets nuts, okay? So let's look at the S&P 500 at the bottom here. In the S&P 500 zone here, the bottom here, this was 2018, 2019. This was Jay Powell hiking a bit too much, and then things aren't going so well, and they had to cut the rates here and reverse it. Okay, but look what happens here. I mean, this is crazy. The S&P 500 goes up and breaks the all-time high again. I'm going to show you. See here, see this, friends? See this part? See this part here? You see this part right here? This is the S&P 500. Now, of course, we know the zombie virus comes next, but imagine you don't know what comes next. So let's actually go right here. You see this? See this? Look at this, friends. This is crazy. You see these? This is freaking nuts now. We're looking at here. You see these two parts, friends? So it's exactly coincided again. The top chart is the plus token Ponzi. And I'm going to show you on a daily chart on the bottom as well, the S&P 500. And I've changed them both to daily so we can even have a tinier squeeze up here. You see this S&P 500? Look at this. So as you can see, both, like you keep your eyes at the bottom and the top here. They're both rising together. And then look at this. Like the S&P 500 goes and breaks the all-time high. And look, we had the plus token Ponzi rally. I mean, it's crazy how this universe works. Unicorns, fairy dust, the aliens, the bug aliens, the human nuke-looking aliens. There's just so many things going on. Simulation creator, God, Buddha. I don't know what's going on, friends. It's just wild how the plus token Ponzi happens at the exact same moment of time that the S&P 500 was ready to go to the top and break the all-time high and usher in a data point on the Bitcoin and S&P 500 chart correlation. Isn't that wild? What's going on, man? Like, is this a conspiracy? How the hell is this going? 3 out of 3 times. They're matching up perfectly. 3 out of 3 times. You know? Not the halvening. There was no halvening here. It's nuts. It's like, of course, people on the sidelines will say, well, it was a plus token Ponzi. But look at this, man. You know when you hear the alien stories? Okay, the first 6 are crazy. But 600? What? Something's going on, friends. Something's going on. That's why I'm telling you, in crypto land where we live, something is going on. And the Bitcoin halvening is not free money. Okay? So we're going to keep going. I'm going to show you right now. Let me keep continuing. Okay. See this vertical line up here? This is the next Bitcoin halvening. This was in May 2020 after the zombie virus. Now, this is where it gets a bit jinkety and janky, friends. You see, we're going to continue up here. In November to December of 2020, this is wild. Here we go again, friends. I mean, this is crazy. Look when Bitcoin was breaking the all-time high. Look at it. Look at the bottom, friends. We're matching up exactly the time frames. Look at this. The bottom and the top. Look at this. Got them exactly matched. They're moving together. Bitcoin broke $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 with the S&P 500 screaming up. So, you know, look, are we all inextricably linked? Is it the QE? Was it the 0% interest rates? Was it the negative yielding bonds? Was it Michael Saylor, Elon Musk? Was it the unicorn fairy dust? I don't know, but I'm just showing you right now. Here we go. Data point number 4. S&P 500 screaming through the highs is what's needed to give us the thrashing upwards. That's what it is, okay? That's just what it is. We can't argue with it, okay? These are the facts in the charts, you know? So it's crazy to see that, hey, man, was it the halvening? Because, like, look, I know the halvening happened. So you're probably wondering, like, excuse me, sir. And I'll say, hello, friend. And I'll say, the halvening did happen, but that's crazy. What mattered more than the halvening was the S&P 500 going up. Like, it's within the same 4 weeks, man. It's within the same 28-day period, right? The halvening happened back in May 2020. How come within the same 28-day period, we break the all-time highs with the stonk market? Isn't that wild, man? It's just absolutely wild, friends. So we're looking at this. There's just too many data points now. You have 3 halvenings versus 3 times the S&P 500 was going up. All right. Now, if you look at this, it's wild. Why? Because there's almost a formula. If you go to the halvening here and you try to map out that gap period. So in the first halvening, it took 189 days to break the all-time high. In the second halvening, it took about 290 days to break the all-time high. Okay, so you have like 6 months, you have like 9 months. And what about this one? This one you have about 6 or 7 months. So you have 6 months, 7 months, and 9 months, right? So from the all-time high. So, hey, what's going to happen next? I don't know. I have no idea. But if we walk forward from April 2024, 6 months is October 2024, up to about 9 months which is January 2025. This might be the window of time where we're like, okay, things are about to get nasty, right? Because we don't know, right? I mean, I hope Bitcoin hits 100K, 200K. I don't know, right? We have to be prepared for anything, friends. You see this little window box here? Anything can happen here, all right? Anything can happen. Now, when we are looking at this chart, there's a lot of things going on, but I've now succinctly shown you it's up to us to figure out, where do we think the mindset of the average market participant is going to be if the S&P 500 is going up and if the S&P 500 is going down? Let's be intellectually honest with ourselves, because here's the thing, right? Our crash in this recent bear market, let's go get the highlighter. We know this, friends. Actually, we saw this, okay? We crashed with the stock market. We saw that. We all crashed with the stock market together. We saw people waking up. S&P 500 was down. Even Soy Bankman-Fried said, like, every time S&P 500 moves 1%, we move down 4%. So we were like 4 times more volatile than the S&P 500. That's something to think about. We also know that when there was the zombie virus, okay, it was Black Swan, and yes, we crashed down again. So that's 2 out of 2 times that we went down. So what I've done is, friends, I've shown you the times we've gone up with the S&P 500, and they're very big, right? You're breaking the all-time high of Bitcoin, and you even had the plus token Ponzi rally. That was really significant. So 4 big major moves coincided with the S&P 500 breaking the all-time high. All right, now I've just shown you 2 giant, significantly moves with the S&P 500 going down, and Bitcoin went down too with it. Right, so even if we continue, the correlation was not that strong, tick for tick, but the S&P 500, if we go down, you see this period here? The S&P 500 was in like a distribution mode. Look at this. We had topped out. We topped out as well. Okay, so, we went down. So it's crazy as well. Down here and down here, this was when they had to pivot. They had to pivot and say, that's it, no more hiking rates. We got to hold. And then we went up after that. And the same as the stock market. So, I mean, it's wild to think, friends. I mean, it's wild. It is what it is. Now, if you want to go quickly a step deeper, if you're just having a bit of trouble figuring out why this thing is happening, it could be linked to the M2 money supply. It could be linked to the Federal Reserve. They print the money. The M2 does loops around the world. It goes, woohoo, we're looping around the world. And then through their roundabout, sinister, black like market ways, it funnels its way to stock market companies. They give out loans in the banks. They do loops around the world. And everything kind of perpetuates a stock market Ponzi machine of America to keep the Ponzi going. That could be what's going on. Now, it's deeper than that, but we've got to summarize it somehow, right? So that's when we go back and look at all these things, friends. It's very clear that we know what's up. Basically, the stock market's the king. We ain't the king. Now, I hope we disconnect, but hey, man, how long do you want to sit there doing nothing just in case we don't disconnect? You know what I mean? Like what if there's so many signs that the S&P 500 is, it's doing this distribution here? Because just to update you as well, the S&P 500, friends, is in a very dangerous spot. Not saying it's going to crash, just saying valuations historically are really, 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 really high. Plus, baby boomers, their average age is now 71 and a half. They are now net sellers. So if they're net sellers, who's going to buy their Ponzi stocks, right? That's something to think about. So if they're net sellers, we might find that the S&P 500, it won't exactly sit through a perfect range like this. It might go up, break the high, come back, screw everybody, break the low, break the high, do something like this. Maybe, right? Just some sort of distribution where basically what's happening is the baby boomers are distributing against all the new people, the young people trying to come in. We can't push the market up because there's too many net sellers on average. So you couple this with the fact that the US Fed banned themselves from owning stocks at the very, very top. Wouldn't it be kind of a nasty surprise if we break all-time high and then the US government bans themselves from owning stocks? And then think about if they're in a then they fight you phase, friends, for the next couple of years. They're fighting Bitcoin for money demand. They're fighting the BRICS. think about the US dollar and think about the government. It'd be very easy for them to say, hey, let's put the stock market Ponzi aside. We've rallied for 15 years. Now we've got to go defend the dollar. I can see that narrative forming. I can see them saying, hey, we've got to reel everything in. Maybe they start a few wars. Who knows? I can see this happening. For some reason, it just appears, friends. I mean, the stock market's had like 14 years going up only, man. It's time for us to see what's going on. Now, what can we do about it? We can't do anything. All I'm doing is setting our expectations. That's why when I think about 60, 70, 80K, you have to be thinking about 60, 70, 80K, not just in the context of Bitcoin itself, but in the context of, oh, damn, maybe the stock market sends us down, right? So, obviously, there's no point guessing how long it's going to run for, how hard it'll run for. We don't know, right? But there's a few things that at least we can take home, all right? Now, for some reason, exactly 12 months after every Bitcoin halvening, 3 out of 3 times, the altcoins have peaked. Okay. Now, it's not the altcoins US dollar price that's peaked. It's the altcoin ratios. So it's versus Bitcoin. So the altcoins go super strong for 12 months and then they peak 12 months after the Bitcoin halvening, which should be around April 2025. So, I mean, if I was to draw, you just put a water pistol to my head. You say, a water pistol to your head. I'm going to squirt you if you don't give me a chart pattern right now. Maybe, friends, maybe somehow we go up, right? Maybe by the end of 2024, Bitcoin's like this is how I'm just thinking, right? Maybe we're 40K by the end of the year, right? Here's January, 40K. And then maybe by the end of 2024, we're actually $80,000. We're $80,000. So why I like this is because see how there's 40 and there's 80, okay? Why I like this guess is because we went up a 2x for Bitcoin. I can see the crowd then saying that 2025 is going to be another 2x and everybody's going to think 160K is coming, 160 up here, right? That's what everybody's going to be thinking, right? Here's my little dot up here. So everybody's going to be thinking 160K is coming. But what if the minus 50% comes instead as everything gets trapped? Maybe the S&P 500 rolls over. That is something to think about. Now, looking at Bitcoin at the top, I don't know exactly how we're going to get this scenario, but just to let you know, if you're new to this game, welcome, friends. Have a seat over there. Just going to let you know that when we go up, the altcoin seasons traditionally start going mental, their final waves, when Bitcoin comes down. So when Bitcoin rotates down and has this little complacency bounce, this part is actually the final gasp of Bitcoin in every single cycle. It's when Bitcoin slows down that everybody says, okay, time to play the altcoins. Now, in 2021, it was rounded. Okay, so maybe it happens again, but it could happen like 2017 where it does a dip and a complacency bump. So we don't know. Don't worry too much about the pattern, but just know that when you see Bitcoin top at the very, very top, see the top part here, Ethereum top, I think 27 to 28 days after Bitcoin. And that was the final run up. So maybe that's what happens again. Maybe we make it all the way. We get this aggressive BlackRock, BlackBerry, Bitcoin halvening run. Bang, bang, bang. We go straight to 80K. Everybody's saying 100's next, 100's guaranteed. Woohoo. But, if the retailers are only buying for 100K, then that's not good enough because they have to buy for another 2 to 3x. So for them to buy 100K, they have to be thinking that 300K is possible. But you already know from all the targets, everybody's talking about 100K. So the targets are much less. That's how you can already reverse engineer it. There aren't enough suckers who want to buy Bitcoin at 200K. Now, I know we want it to go up there, but to go up there, we need suckers to buy it. That's how, obviously, that's not me talking, friends. I love every single one of you. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, pressing the bell button, but we got to think like these evil dictator bastards. This is exactly how it works, okay? So now you've seen, all right, now you've seen the truth. The truth is the Bitcoin halvening is actually not the bringer of goodness. Unfortunately, and it makes me vomit to say this, it's actually the stock market, right? It's actually the stock market, So, the hard part is sitting here saying to you and me, I'm like, well, S&P 500 is going to scare everybody. I don't know what it is. That's the hard part. I don't know what it is. It's going to be an earthquake, some comet, aliens come down, take a doo-doo, take a caca on the White House. Something weird's going to happen at some point. I mean, we had a zombie virus. Everybody was wearing masks on their face. And anything weird can happen, man. Anything weird can happen. But just be prepared for it. And friends, how do we be prepared for it? You be prepared by buying now. You be prepared by saying, I'm going to get ahead of the crowd. Because at the end of the day, there's only one thing I can tell you something about markets. Markets get smarter every time and people learn. All right. Now, traditionally, the dumb money are going to enter. See the D, the dumb money? Traditionally, the dumb money enters in the final third green year, 2025. But what I'm saying is maybe that dumb money enters in 2024 this time. So if the dumb money is entering all of 2024, who's left in 2025? No one. So it means that the people left are the people who believe in 2025, and they're actually going to get destroyed. So this is how we can reverse engineer a potential big trap. Of course, hey, I still give this, friends, 70% chance. I don't pretend to know everything, and I never will. We just got peanut brains here. This is a 70% chance. There's a 30% chance we scream higher. US Fed's got to buy Bitcoin, BlackRock, Ethereum ETF, all these things happen. But in that world, we all win. Just from the bottom of my heart, I'm telling you, we are in the then they fight you phase, then they fight you, okay? And I know this phase has a couple more rounds before the US government finally throw in the towel, however it is, okay? But before they throw in the towel, they're going to take some swings. But you know what they can never swing at? Our friendship. It is strong as a brick wall. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you in the next one.